What's up, everybody? I'm Jeremy. You guys are watching Inside the Coils. Tonight, we've got Jennifer from Hi Vis Pythons joining us. It's going to be a great episode, guys. I do want to start off by wishing all the fathers out there in the chat a very happy Father's Day. This one was a different one just because of not having dad this so soon, with Father's Day hitting so soon to him passing. It was a lot different, but the kids definitely, help make it a very special one for me as well. So happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, give your dad a call. Tell him how much you love him and appreciate all the crap that he's done. So yeah, just don't ever neglect or take for granted that fact, because one day they won't be there. But enough with the boohoo pity train. Let's bring Jennifer out. We'll say hi to some of our guests, and we'll get this show rolling, guys. Jennifer, what's up?
Hello. And please call me Jen.
Jen, I always, I don't know. We'll do it, Jen. I don't know. Jennifer just rolls off the tongue. Like, I don't know. I like the name Jennifer. I don't know. I like the name. So, all right, but Jen.
If it slips out, I'm not gonna harp on you.
All right. I appreciate that. Let's go through, say hi to everybody that's tuning in tonight so far. We got Vance from Blue Zombie Morphs. What's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. We got Brian from Heathen Hatchery. What's going on? Will from 217 Pythons. What's up? Nikki from Irresistible Pythons. What's going on? One of our channel members. Excuse me. Thank you very much for tuning in, Nikki. And she says happy Father's Day as well. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Tara Voodoo Doll Royals. What's up, girl? One of our top tier channel members. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Tara, your boy, he's an eating machine, girl. I tell you what, it's going to be a sad thing to see him leave here on the Wharf Stock Day, but I'm sure you're going to be happy to have him going home with you. And everybody, if you did get on that wait list and you haven't heard from me yet about the carpets, check your emails, because there's one or two people I sent emails out to and I haven't gotten a response back. But half the clutch is gone already, folks. So if you want a carpet, better jump on that train quick, because it's leaving the station rapidly. So it's kind of actually a sad thing, because I've got shows coming up and I was expecting to have really nice full displays because of all the baby carpets, because the first clutch was 14 babies. And now that half of them are gone, I'm just like, I'm not much better off than what I was before. So it's a bittersweet thing. It's a good problem to have, but it's a problem nonetheless. But RO, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Blades and Axe Reptiles. Jimbo, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you in the chat tonight. Jim, Straight Blast Pythons, dude. I will be seeing you in a couple weeks, bro. War Stock, you will be here. It's going to be awesome, man. Having a Ball Pythons, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. James Perry, JNS Exotics, what's up? Thanks for tuning in as well. Exotic World of Geckos, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Will, what up, brother? Good to see you. Will from CNC Pythons. Thanks for tuning in, bro. See you as well at the barbecue here in a couple weeks. Derek, D&K Reptiles, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Damn, we got a lot of people jumping in here. S&K Exotics, Stefan. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Clint, what's going on, bro? Tight Grip Pythons, thanks for tuning in. Another channel member, Greg, what's up, brother? Anxious to have you get your carpet as well. She's eating rather well. John and Christine, Triforce Morphs, channel sponsors. What's going on, guys? John, Christine, whichever one of you are running the helm tonight over there, figure out what the hell's going on for Oaks for me, so I can get off my little fence here of, do I need to do it myself or not? I know I just hit you up about it today, but figure it out. I got to know one way or the other, guys. Got to know one way or the other. But thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for all the love and support as well. Happy Father's Day, John. And again, a happy Father's Day to everybody else out here in the chat tonight. All right, I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to attempt it, though. Kalen, Mountainside Pythons. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Brandon, that's the first time I've ever seen you in the chat. Welcome. So, everybody, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, please. I greatly appreciate it. Everybody, also hit that like button right now. If you haven't done it, hit that like button. Yes, Greg, yes, you get a carpet that eats this time off the rip. We don't have the struggles we had last time. But, yeah, so let's go ahead and run the channel sponsor real quick, and we'll get into this, Jen.
All right.
Gettysburg Reptile Expo, LLC is located at the All-Star Event Complex in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It's a 45,000 square foot venue with 125 plus vendors and top quality breeders, along with 270 plus tables. If you're looking for a python, boa, colubrid, gecko, lizard, or amphibian, you've come to the right place. Doesn't matter if you're a breeder looking for that missing piece to your project or a pet owner looking for your next scaly friend, Gettysburg Reptile Expo, LLC has you covered. Need an incubator or rack system? They have you covered with sea serpents set up there to meet all your needs. The next show dates are July 20th and November 9th of 2024, March 29th of 2025. Show times are from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Make sure to check them out on their website, Instagram, and Facebook. Mark your calendars because this is one show you don't want to miss. So I'll see you at Gettysburg Reptile Expo, LLC.
All right, I had a blonde moment here for a minute. I had to confess. All right, I saw this comment, Greg. I thought you were calling someone an Ewok. And I thought you misspelled Ewok. I was going to go on your shit real quick. And I'm like, Ewok, exotic world of geckos. Okay, so minor geek moment, blonde moment, all in one freaking thing. But for now, exotic world of geckos, you're now Ewok. Oh shit! All right. Enough of me. We were talking about Star Wars and Star Trek backstage, folks. Good stuff. All right. I'm not the only one here. Okay, Jim thought the same thing. All right. At least I'm not alone. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, brother. And Jim, also, I need to watch that video that you put out about the Exantic stuff. Hurt that you did not ask the Exantic King himself to join you on that one, but I'll let it slide, bro. I do want to watch that though. But Jen, tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you into the hobby? What got you to wanting to breed? Give us a little bit of rundown on yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I actually bought my first 2 snakes in April of last year. So
okay, wow.
Yeah, I'm still pretty new to the game, but it's funny. I had a bird. And apparently, if you watch enough parrot YouTube, then you end up at Clint's Reptiles, and then that's just. So I ended up in reptile land because of the YouTube algorithm that started feeding me a bunch of reptile content. And I was like, oh wow, those are cool. Oh wow, that's neat. And then I think it was the the Chris Hardwick videos about all the morphs and stuff. And then I started watching those, and then I had gone to, there was a reptile show. It was the Scott Smith's All Animal Expo in St. Charles that happens like once or twice a month out here, St. Charles, Illinois, because I'm up in Chicago. I live on the northwest side of Chicago. And so I went out there and I was looking around and everything, and I was like, this is wild. And when I saw all about pythons, I was just like, oh my God, look at all these colors. These are fantastic. And there was one that I had asked to hold. And she was super sweet and adorable. And she was like periscoping. She was just one of those super friendly snakes. And then there was like a super pretty snake, and I couldn't decide. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to buy a ball python today because I don't have anywhere to keep it. I don't have anywhere to do it. Like, I didn't impulse buy anything. I'm like, okay, I got some homework to do. So I went and started looking up things about husbandry, and then of course Morph Market shows up, and then all the Morph calculator stuff shows up, and then in order to when you're using the calculator on Morph Market, in order to be able to click on like the results of potential combos to like see what they look like, you have to have an account. So then I got an account.
Okay. So I didn't realize that. I had the account before I even tried that. So all right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it was me geeking out over the calculator that got me to get the account. And then because I had to know things. And so had taken pictures of the snakes that I liked at that show, and then I reached out to the breeder and asked him if they were going to be doing a new show soon, and they said, yeah, we're going to be here next weekend, out near Rockford. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to come and I want this one. And I paid him, and I was going to go pick it up at the show. And so I picked the pretty one. There's the friendly one and the pretty one. And then we get to the show, and my fiance is like, we're only getting one snake today, right? And I said, yes, I'm only getting one snake today. And so we get to the show, and the kids are with us, and we're hanging out, walking around, and I'm holding a snake, and the kids are holding one of like the big breeder snakes that they had for sale. And he's standing there, and he's like, well, I want to hold a snake. And I was like, where's that friendly one? And I went and grabbed the friendly one, and he, she's being all cute and adorable and sweet like she was with me. And he gives me this look like, well, we can't just leave her here. And I was like, you're right. We can't just leave her here. But let it be known, I only got one snake today.
So let the record state.
Let the record show, I only got one snake today. And so he got his snake, I got my snake, we were off to the races, and because we had but then he liked Eliza. So Phaedrus Khan, that's his screen name, that's my fiance in the chat. And so yeah, that's how that all shook out, and now we have 60 of them.
Man, now so all right, so you got, this was last year the start, so you went from 0 to 60 in like a year's time. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. This really makes me think that I really was overly cautious with how I want to, because let's see, this is season 4. Yes. This is the 4th season of breeding for me. And I don't even, total I've got over 100. Then you start counting babies. God, I don't even want to know. There's too many babies. Babies accumulate way too quick.
What I will say is, I know you are a big fan of Husbandry Pro.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
So I got Husbandry Pro when I had 7 snakes.
See, that's smart though. That's smart.
Right, because I think one of the barriers to entry for a lot of people is like, oh my God, I have to enter all these snakes into Husbandry Pro and then do it that way. So I was super lucky. So I feel like for me, even though I went from 0 to 60 in a year, because I had like my auxiliary brain all in Husbandry Pro, and who eats when did I clean you last, and what's your shed cycle and all that fun stuff. For me, I was able to, I grew really quickly, because like when you hit that point where like, oh my God, this is a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's if you don't have structures in place to help you be successful, that's when you might start feeling overwhelmed. And so I think being able to have Husbandry Pro kept me from feeling overwhelmed. Now I'm pumping the brakes hard, because now I'm like, okay, well at this point I'm not even gonna have room for holdbacks. So I'm actually like, if I have an agreement with my significant other that if I don't have store credit with you already, either through a Patreon or a raffle that I bid on where I have that store credit, that I'm not buying anybody until like October at the earliest. So as far as
so basically it's just right around the corner, then you're open for business again.
Right. But I mean, I'm still trying to like be really, really choosy about what I had now, because now it's to the point where it's like anything that catches my eye. And if I go, oh, but I could make that in like a year or two, it's like, I don't want to pay $1,500 for something that I could make in 2 years. You know what I mean? It's like that juice doesn't feel worth the squeeze anymore. So it's like the more I've gotten, the more focused I've become in what I've been acquiring.
And that's a good thing, though. I feel a lot of people don't get that focus quick enough, and it kind of screws them over, because then they get all these animals. They get, say, 60 animals, and then they get the focus, and they're like, well, 48 of these 60 are nowhere near what we want to shoot for. And then you're kind of shit out of luck, and then you got to move those. I
got really lucky that the first two snakes that I got were supers. Right. Okay. So I've got a Super Orange Dream Fire, and when I bought him, he was pos het pied. But when I shed tested him, he was swinging a misunpied and surprised that clown. So
Oh,
then I ended up
nice.
having a bunch
That's
of
a nice
experience with
surprise.
girlfriends. That's a great surprise. And then, so after that, I started doing clown, but I was really focused on like, okay, what do I like? Like I wanted to basically decide what's my favorite morph and then figure out from there where I was going to go with it. So it was like, okay, I'm going to pick a couple and then so there'll be this, and whatever Hamilton turns out to be, which turned out to be clown.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
so my first love is Ultramel.
Okay, I was gonna say now, what were your 3 picks as far like what recessives did you choose to go with off the start anyway?
My first 2 were Hypo and Ultramel.
Okay.
And it was funny too because with Hypo it was like the Hypo hype train hadn't like even gotten to the station yet. Like it was still like early last year, and Hypos were cheap, but they were pretty. I liked them. I just like what they did. I like how they looked. I liked how they aged. And that was part of also the impetus for like Hi Vis Pythons. It's like, yeah, bright and pretty, but also pretty for life. Like I wanted to make snakes that age well as part of my goal as a breeder, is to make snakes that age well. And Ultramel ages fantastically.
Okay.
And so does Hypo. So they were both really, really pretty. And when I found adult examples, I was like, oh, wow, that looks really nice. And, and then, okay, now we're in clown. All right. Hypo clown, Ultramel clown. Nothing bad going on there. And also plenty of runway there as well.
I say there's a lot of untapped stuff right there and just in that little area.
Just in the doubles. And I know everyone's just kind of like, oh, what triples, what quads are we going to go make? And I'm just like, I think I might go hang out with doubles for a while.
See, all right. Now tell me what you think about this. Because first off, I'm going to say, TK, what's up, my brother? Good to see you in the chat. And happy Father's Day to you as well, bro. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Now, it's funny that you said that. Because I feel like everybody's in the race to get to the triple visuals, the quad visuals, and they're kind of missing the like that there's so much not done with the double visuals. And at the rate that they're going after these triples and these quads, a lot of people that are going after it, from what I'm seeing and what I'm kind of noticing, okay, you hit the quad. That's all you hit, though. You did because you were in such a race to get to it. You don't have any other genetics packed in with it. And now you're back to square one because now you're breeding that quad into something and you're making the heads and then you're hoping to hit the like it just I don't know. I feel like people are in such that race to be the first to say I did it that they're missing the thought that focus on the better base and then bump up and then get that base better and then bump up. Because
it's like did what? I mean, yeah, there's something really cool to be said for, like what? DG Hypo Xanthic Clown.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a pretty animal. But yeah, again, there's the now what. So one of the things I really focused on as I was building my collection was baking in the codons to the recessives. Now I might have an animal that's only got, one incomplete dominant and, is het for 2 things. But when it's a red stripe double het cryptic Ultramel, I'm not going to complain about that because there's a lot of places I can go with that. So it's about building in, like baking into your plans. I might not know 100% what I'm going to do with a particular animal. Like I know what I want to do, but I might not because there's all the unknowns, right? Is it going to go? Is it going to look good? Yada, yada, yada. And so but I'm also still early enough that I can play, I can experiment. I'm also not depending on, snake money to pay my mortgage. So I can do, riskier things or like experimental things. Because I also think one of the things people get hung up on is, well, I don't know what it's going to look like. And I'm like, but don't you want to know? Like, yeah,
I was going to say, exactly. Yeah. Like, why not be the one to find out what it does look like? I mean, if it doesn't look good, okay, you learned. But if it looks freaking phenomenal, that puts you on the chart or on the chart, on the books, whatever, wherever the hell you want to be put. but you
Right.
then catch people's attention. And now you're that person that did it.
Right. And if you're smart about it, you'll be like, okay, well, I know this gene does this, and this does this, and this, and this does this, and this. And I think actually those will work together in a harmonious way. Whereas if you're just like throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, yeah, that's going to be riskier. You know?
I mean, you got to do some homework. You got to do. No, okay, this gene complements. Like there are those things where you got to know what genes complement others, what genes really don't work well with others. I mean, you've got to have that a little bit of a ground base. But I mean, God, there's so many undone combos out there that you just got to jump in.
I like making the doubles, and I like it's almost like, okay, start from making like a visual that's 100% for this, or then make the double visual that also has like a het riding along and some fun components into it, like, and build it from incrementally from there. And as you put in like incrementally add more, then you have, I feel you're in a better position to like change course if you realize that something isn't working well.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Whereas if you throw all the eggs in one basket and then all of a sudden you have an animal that looks like crap, then what do? You know, you kind of like bred yourself into a corner.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. The School of Crop. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. They say, I am new to balls, so I am at the weight till they get to breeding size. That is the weight that sucks the most. But and another point, and another way of looking at it, you get to enjoy them that whole time, build that relationship with them, gives you some time to learn. So it's actually a nice weight. Like, put it this way, your weight's 2, maybe 3 years roughly. You could have the carpet weight. That's 4 years or a little bit better roughly. So, I mean, there's worse weight. What's that?
I said the boa weight.
Oh God, yeah, the boa weight. Yeah, my buddy Mike with the boa. Yeah, I don't want the boa weight either. Speaking of boas, though, if you know anybody interested in purchasing a collection, let me know. Because Mike is getting ready to sell. He said to me on how he's how did he word it? He's contemplating selling his collection of boas, and there's a lot of blood stuff. There's some really nice stuff in there.
I'm into like the sharp BWC paradigm, paradise stuff in boas. So.
I think he's got some sharp stuff.
Sharp stuff I'd be interested. Sharp anery type 1 stuff.
See, I know he's got anery. I'm pretty sure there was some sharp stuff, IMG stuff.
Yeah.
He's got. I know there's a sun dragon in there.
That could be cool and it's actually really funny that when we bring up boas is because I don't know that it matters which species we're talking about. I tend to always gravitate toward the T-positive albinos.
Okay.
In like every species, like even in like carpets, boas, pretty much just about everything. I'll gravitate to those T-positive albinos in pretty much every species. So that's always fun. That's just. Yeah. I like the soft colors.
I think School of Crop. I agree with you on that one. I think I'm trying to think. He had one. It was an albino. I think it was an albino something boa, and like there was like sky blues in it, and like it really bad. Like I never thought a snake could have those. Like other than like a green tree, could have those. That color showing through, and this freaking boa had it. I'm just like, good God, man, like gorgeous freaking animal. Because I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me because of being partially colorblind. And I, went back over. I was like, dude, he's like, does this thing really like? This is what I'm seeing. Is that what? He goes, yep, that's exactly what it is. It's like, oh shit, okay,
that's cool. But so, yeah, I get into those T-positive albinos, and it's funny because I bought my first boa. Because I thought she had pretty eyes.
Okay.
Like I couldn't get over her eyes. Like I'm scrolling. I'd been watching Holtback Rack, and Jessica was talking about, it's nice to have a boa around every once in a while for the one who won't feed, and maybe they take an extra from time to time because I feed frozen pod. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I was like scrolling Morph Market looking at boas, and I saw this boa, and her eyes, they look like, pennies. They look like dark, shiny pennies. She's got gorgeous, gorgeous eyes. My girl Xenia. She's in shed right now, so I don't want to bug her, but like I love her eyes. And so that's how I got her boas. And then I have another boa there. She's a Hog Island cross. So like her mom was pure hog, but I think her dad was a hypo hog cross. But she's just got the prettiest like pinks and grays and oranges, and then her tail is just like a shocking like bright orange. Her name is Bonnie. Ooh. I picked her up at the auction, the US ARC auction at October Tinley.
See, that's the one nice thing with you being up there in Chicago. Tinley isn't far for you.
It's my backyard. I still usually get a hotel because it's like an hour and some change, especially during rush hour. But I'm excited for Schaumburg, actually, because Schaumburg is, because I'm on the northwest side of Chicago, Schaumburg is 25 minutes on the expressway from Schaumburg to my house. And I was actually probably going to I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should have like a birthday gathering, because my birthday is the 11th of July. And I'm trying to figure out if I should have my birthday gathering the Thursday before Schaumburg or the Friday. Because like, will people want to leave the venue and then come out and then have to go back? Or will people, just be like, okay, well, it's the show's the next day and I took the day off anyway. So might as well go party at Jen's house.
Yeah, I don't know which would be better. Maybe.
I don't. I can't think.
The thing is, like, the other thing is, on Friday, are they setting up?
Right.
So, no, that's I don't know. Maybe Friday might be the better one. Set up and then go hang out at your place.
Yeah, because I'm going to do like, grilling and fire in the backyard and just hang out and BS and whatnot.
And fiance, when does everyone have the opening to set up?
I think it's noon on Friday at Schaumburg.
I know a lot of the shows here, other than Gettysburg, you set up like the day of the show, which sucks. Yeah. But Gettysburg, we set up Friday and then.
Yeah, I think all the NARBCs, it's like, okay, you've got your VIP and setup on Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday is like Saturday morning's VIP. And then Sunday doesn't open until 10 or 11 or whatever because everyone's hung up from the auction.
Oh, okay. See, that would suck trying to set up and having people come over and bugging you. That would suck.
Yeah. Like, because I think it's like setup / VIP. So I think the people who come for VIP know it's mostly people that are setting up. Like, I don't think like Friday's just VIP. So
okay.
So it's not like general public.
Maybe so maybe it's not as many. See, I could see a lot of people paying the extra money to get the VIP to get in, so that way they can get the pick of the cream of the crop picks.
True. But I just think the people who have the wherewithal to do that also know that they don't want to piss off the person they're trying to buy a snake from by bugging them while they're trying to set up.
True. Like, that's a very true point.
It's like if you're going to pony up the extra money for VIP, you usually are kind of plugged in enough to know what's what and not piss people off.
That's true. Blade and Axe Reptile says, I was just wondering where Banana was. What's up, Banana? Thanks for tuning in. So, with your project focus being a hypo and ultramel, what other incomplete dominance are you thinking about throwing into that? Because I'm not gonna lie, ultramel is something that I just can't get on the train with. I don't know if my eyes don't see it, but what do you want to throw into that to make ultramel just really pop?
I think the thing that gets me on the ultramel train is there was a video I think that Canova did it was a couple of years ago, but it was Red Stripe Mojave ultramel Kryptons, and I lost my mind.
Be looking nice with it.
Yeah, those were gorgeous, and I'm also getting into Cryptic Krypton, because it was like So it's funny. Before I found out that Hamilton was het clown, I did not like clown. Like, I was not into clown. I thought they had weirdly shaped Megamind heads, and because so many pictures of clowns, they've got these weird bulbous heads. And I'm like, why are other heads shaped like that? That's so strange. It just seems like...
I think it's the head pattern that does it, though, because I can see what you're saying. I think it's the head, like the way, yeah, I think it's just the head pattern that gives that illusion of it. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
So like they all have these like weird Megamind heads, and then I was like, I don't think I'm into it. And then Hammy was het, and I was like, oh, well, when the universe hands you Super Orange Dream Fire that's het clown, you just go with it, I guess. So,
yeah, I wouldn't.
But I'm like, how can I make this cool? And then I got into, I think one of my other favorite het clowns that I have is Banana Yellow Belly Cypress het clown.
Ooh, that.
She's pretty.
That would be pretty.
She's so pretty. She's gonna look super pretty in clown. And then I got into freeway stuff because Steven and Courtney had a video last summer about like, most underrated gene and pulp pythons, and it was asphalt. And I was like, everybody loves asphalt. It's not underrated. But, as a standalone, like without any other recessives, like what does it do? And that was, they had a snake that was on that video. And I saw him and I was like, oh crap, I have to have him. I just have to have him. And I think the only significant like planning mistake that I made when I was starting out was buying as many males as I did. Because I
think a lot of people do that though.
Yeah, it's like you're new enough and you don't realize that the males will grow up like pretty quick, and then the females are going to take a minute. So I definitely have some boys sitting on the bench for a little bit, but they're really good boys, I think. So it's like you have to balance the price point at which people were offloading males at the middle to end of 2023. Like, I think my sickest deal there was like I have a hypo lesser double het clown ultra mel that I got for like $150.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's a pretty spectacular deal. I'm gonna jump on that, and even if he sits around and just eats for a year, it's fine.
So you'll plug him in somewhere down the line and make it worth it.
Exactly. Or then I got like backups for my backups, because it's like I've got my, my Ultramel Het Clown Pos Hypo Boy, and then I've got my lesser Hypo Double Het Ultramel Clown Boy, and then I've got my, Banana Mojave Pie Double Het Ultramel Hypo. Like, so that it all, when people ask me like, how many projects do you have? And I'm just like, I don't know. I think based on the fact that I've kind of narrowed it down to essentially 5 recessives and every codom I could get my hands on, the collection will tell me what our projects are based on who goes and when. But it's all things that play nicely together, right?
See, that's the nice aspect. That's something that's good to have, is that you can plug and play anywhere because you've got things that complement one another. That's smart.
It's like designing a wardrobe, right? And you go to your closet, and if it doesn't really matter what 2 things you pick, they still go together.
See, I can't go with the wardrobe thing. My wife, if she's watching, she would tell me I have the worst taste in what goes together.
Right.
Like, yeah. I'm a terrible fashion person. I'm a terrible fashion person. Your fiance says, "Show us Hamilton."
You want to see Hammy?
Here, I'll put you up on the big screen here. See, I had a slightly different problem when I got up in a little bit more size. I had more females than males. I get so focused on the female aspect that I didn't have some of the males I should have had when the girls were ready.
So when they were ready, then you were just kind of flat-footed, and you're like, "Oh crap, I gotta go."
I'm just like, crap. Yeah, it's just like, well, shit. I didn't think this one through the whole way. I thought the female part through, but now I need the males. So next year, I've got the males now. So
yeah,
next
like it's
year,
funny. Like
we're gonna rock
in
and
my
roll
head,
hardcore.
I was buying things in sets. Like I bought this boy, so now I need to get this girl. But then it's like, okay, but they're not. He's gonna be hanging around waiting for a bit. But
He's
yeah, this is the
beautiful,
first
though.
thing we ever bought. Very.
I love
crazy,
orange
like,
green.
spade. Yeah, he's awesome. Honestly, if it wasn't for these speckles on his dorsal, he could almost pass for a desert ghost.
Yeah, I could see that.
He said these speckles. But I named him Hamilton because when he was a baby, he looked like ink spilled on parchment. So it was like someone was writing like Alexander Hamilton was like writing something and knocked over the ink bottle on the parchment. And that's how we got named Hamilton. And so then the super etchy pastel girl that we got ended up being named Eliza. So our first two snakes were Hamilton and Eliza.
See, now he would look good as an Exantic. Now he would look phenomenal as an Exantic.
He probably would. I have an Exantic. I do have a little trio for a snow project. So I have a female VPI, 66% het lav, and then I have a lavender, and then I have another boy who looks like he could be Grim or something granity.
Okay.
Who's double het lav VPI. So that's kind of like a side project on 1.2.
I think Exantic's one of those things that it's so underrated. Like it seems like it fell by the wayside for some of the other stuff, which is so sad. So sad.
Well, and it's like you have to pick, and you can't do everything. So I mean, there's definitely been things where I'm like, I want to get into it, but I can't because I got all this other stuff going on. I do have a couple het puzzle girls growing up.
Okay.
I've got a collaboration that I've been planning with a friend of mine so that when I get a male from that collaboration, I'll have girls that already have a year size on them. See, then I started thinking of that whole thing. I also went through a phase where I was buying stuff that was just packed with codoms and maybe the IDs on them were not totally accurate and or couldn't be totally accurate because they were so packed with different things. I've got a couple of girls, I call them my, hey, Chris, it's okay.
No, it is not okay, Chris. How dare you? What up, brother?
I know he'd hear eventually. But I've got like a couple of bongo girls, and I really love bongo. And I'm super excited to play with bongo and cryptic and make some interesting things. I have one girl who's a bongo krypton pinstripe, and she's really interesting looking. And so I'm excited about that. But like the two bongos that I have that don't have any recesses in them, they're so packed with stuff that it's like, okay, you could be any one of these 6 things. So now I got to shake you out. So I bought a sunset.
Yes. Okay.
Now that's how I ended up in the sunset project, because I bought a sunset male that helped me shake out some of these girls, or I've got like a couple of ivory girls that it's like you could be this, and this. And I was like, well, ivory is where they hide the good stuff. So I'll just buy a couple grab bag ivories, a couple grab bag bongos, and then I have a few just males that have good recessives or combinations of recessives but no other codoms to shake them out. So they're my pinata stick boys.
See, all right. See, that's not a bad idea though, because, and I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. Like I did some similar stuff this year with like some blackhead stuff that I got, and there's no heads tied to it, but I didn't really care because it, like, I wanted to inject it into Exantic as quick as possible. So I got a male, I've got a proven breeder female. So the male I'm planning on throwing into one of the Exantic girls, and I've got a male that I'm planning to throw to the the proven breeder girl, just really get that Xanthic in there quick. But after they do their deed and I get the combos that I need, they can go, because then I'll have the offspring from that, which is going to be the hets that I needed. I think that's a smart, and financially, it's not a bad way to go about either.
Well, and it's also, if you think about it, the girls take longer to grow up. So you want to have girls with a long shelf life, right? If you're going to spend the 3, however many years growing up the girls, then you want to be able to use them for 3, 4, 5 seasons, right? And so I think one of the strategies that had been talked about a lot when I was first coming in was, buy simple females, maybe just visuals or hets, and then buy some like gene stacked boy and then run them through all of the simple females. And I was like, okay, you could do that. But then what happens in 2 years? Where are you going to be 2 years from now with that? Because now that male has lost his usefulness. And how useful are those girls going to be? Like, you can only get so powerful a male to get a single gene, single het female to also be something you want to continue to breed. So for me, it was get girls with I think my fourth snake I bought was a banana cinnamon Mojave pastel het ultramel.
Okay.
So she's got a lot going on, and she's het ultramel. So, I could put a visual ultramel to her that's het for clown, or het for cryptic, or het for hypo, or het for pied, or whatever. They're going to get that het ultramel, and they're going to get at least 1, if not 4, of whatever she's got riding along with her. So that was kind of the strategy that I followed, was stack my girls, and then the boys kind of just become like the light switch flipper.
Okay. I got you on that. I agree with you on that one. That makes sense.
Yeah, because I think it makes your females useful longer.
Yes.
And because you invest more in them typically. And then if you want to go and, drop $5,000 on a banger boy, then you have girls that are worth putting into.
Yes.
So,
100%.
Don't maybe it's the low turnover collection design, I guess.
Well, see, that's not a bad method to go, though. I know, like, there's a few girls here, like there's like 2 girls that this year, once I get them back on the food, because they just dropped eggs, that they've served their purpose, they're moving on. But they were also animals. I knew that when I got them, that they were going to be moving quickly. I just needed them to, like, I wanted to make my own freeways and Mardi Gras. That was one animal or 2 different morphs that I wanted to make and say, hey, I made it, move on now. So I have a clutch for that stuff. And then this other clutch that just laid, it's for like Calico Clown, Calico Batmans, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, for like freeways and Mardi Gras stuff, I like the ivory to asphalt recipe.
Okay.
You might not always get a freeway with every one, but at least you know that anything that's not freeway is yellow belly. True.
This is true.
So make it easy on yourself until you can make that super asphalt, and then maybe you move along your single gene asphalts, but single gene asphalts will still always be useful because it's not like we're going to be running out of ivories anytime soon.
And this is true. I know one super asphalt stuff. My goodness, like super asphalt stuff drives me nuts. Stuff is so freaking beautiful.
It is. It's very gorgeous. We have a request to show the bongo.
Yeah, so the main squeeze wants to see the bongos.
I think he's talking about my Krypton bongo. Unless he's talking about my other bongo grab bag girl, which I could also do. But this is Vertigo. She's from Ken at Primal Scales. And I'll just let you guess what she is.
That's definitely pinstripe. That's freaking crazy looking. Like that pattern is whack.
Yeah, she's definitely cool looking.
That is wicked.
Yes,
like it all like her sides almost give like that, like a Burmese python kind type of pattern look almost. Like that's wicked, girl. That's
she's
freaking badass.
She's cool. When I saw her, I was just inspired, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna make bongo kryptons of every freaking flavor, because she's a bongo pinstripe krypton.
Okay.
She doesn't have lesser or yellow belly. She's just pin bongo krypton.
Man, that thing's freaking.
But I've got a lesser clown boy I could put to her. I've got my lesser hypo het clown het ultramel boy I could put to her. Like, and then do this in hypo, do this in ultramel, do this in hypo ultramel. Like,
Exantic, make that an Exantic. That would be badass.
No, you want to make it Exantic. You want to make everything Exantic, but
everything must become black and white. it all, in the end, it all color must go.
Well, and you know that might be part of if you're slightly prone to color blindness. I could see how you'd be like, yeah, Exantic the whole world, right? That's a cozy spot for you, man.
Oh, it like see, I see color. That's like I see color, but like things like the all like everybody on the Ultramel hype and Monarch hype. It's like I don't see the hype. Like, and that's why I think I just don't see the colors right. And then I got friends that bust on my ass about my whole color blindness and how I can't see shit. And then I
like there's like a partial, like if it's like, you know, if it's partial color blindness or total color blindness, because you can have like the red-green color blindness, and then you can have like a friend of mine, Dan. He's like, no, I see what dogs see. Like I can't see anything.
I see.
And then you have some people who are like hyper tuned to differences in color. Like I can tell the difference of shades of color to a very fine degree.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I think I like to play with color, because it's tweaks, right? It's just like these little fine tune adjustments, maybe by adding this one thing or that one other thing. So my whole collection is basically based on playing with color and pattern, and you know, maybe like 2 color morphs to every 1 pattern morph. So like, you know, Ultramel puzzle, Sunset puzzle, I think Bongo Cryptic and Sunset Ultramel are the 2 projects that I am most excited about.
Well, I know, what is his name? Is he Con, you're probably talking about John Degg there at JD Constriction. That man is the Exantic god.
He's
that's the only way to put JD is he's the Exantic god. But who is it? Is it
striking situation there?
Oh, I bet. That's one goal. I want to see his display in person one of these days.
You need to come to Tinley, come to Schaumburg, come hang out.
I need to. It's in the works. I have people trying to get me to go to Daytona. Got people trying to get me to go to Tinley. Say, all right, this year's definitely not going to work. Maybe I can swing it next year. Like, there's a lot of expenses that I've got shelling out for this year, like with the snake room expansion.
If you had to sleep on my couch, you can sleep on my couch. Like, it's a very comfy couch.
Is there a wheelchair that you can wheel me then to Tinley in, because I will probably need it after sleeping on a couch, no matter how comfy it is.
Yeah, one of these days I'll have a proper guest room. But no, my couch is great. It's like leather and like if I can put, like, when I take all the pillows off of it, I can put a kid's twin size bed sheet on the couch.
Oh wow, that's a big couch. That okay.
Yeah, no,
right, I could probably get comfy on that then.
No, it's super. It's basically a twin size bed, but it's a couch.
Holy shit!
But it's cozy.
Oh, yeah, I could get comfy on that. I will have to keep that in mind. Probably what I'll end up probably doing is sneaking myself into Chris's luggage here at some point.
Right. You could stow away in Chris's luggage.
Yeah, that was my plan. I was going to hide in his van when they go to Daytona. But now that I said that, I've got to at least wait till next year so he forgets.
So he forgets.
Jeremy can sleep with the snakes and
Yeah, there you go. I'll put that. I want to get a new bed. Because my current bed is a twin, but Owen has a very large dog. Rupert is a Pity Lab mix. So like I've got like my little Chihuahua mix kind of tucked into right above my thighs, and then he's cool. But then Rupert takes up another half the bed, and so I'm just like, we need a king size bed. We need a king size bed because your dog is enormous. So I have to do something. With my queen. So I might have to put together some sort of guest room situation in this house.
See, I like the entertainment room idea. I like that because if it's anything like my entertainment room, it's like you can get really cozy in that.
Yeah, we're gonna have all the video games downstairs. We're gonna have the TV downstairs, the snake room downstairs.
Yeah, put me in the freaking entertainment room. I'm good. You might not get rid of me.
Chicago's a great time, man. And I'm sorry I can't make it out to Warfel Fest. It happens to land on the same weekend as the weekend that we have the summer cottage in Wisconsin with my family. So there's this little cottage that's been in my family since 1948, and it's full of antiques, and we watch movies on VHS and hang out and go apple picking and find new and delicious cheeses. And go
all right, that doesn't sound bad. That sounds like it's a worthy thing to miss Wharf stock over. It truly does.
Yeah,
and, I do love any freaking video games. Like the old school Nintendo shit. You count me in on any of it. Ninja.
So
when Turtles. Yeah.
I got the Ninja Turtles. So when we were at March Tinley. We're walking around, and my son Tristan, who he does competitive speed stacking, the cups with the super fast stacking.
That shit freaks me out watching people do that. I have no idea how they do it that fast.
No, he's nuts. He's just he can do it in lightning fast, and he got me doing it. And so then I just put on Dragon Force on my headphones, and I'm and stuff falls down, and it's fun. But so we he was watching the competitive Tetris stuff, and then there's these kids and they do competitive Tetris, and I guess some kid recently broke the game practically.
Jeez.
And yes, I'm totally gonna video the build of the new snake room, and then I'll do more YouTube stuff. My space is just not conducive to it right now, but so we he wanted to do competitive Tetris, and in order to do competitive Tetris at the tournaments, they have NES systems old Nintendos hooked up to CRT TVs we did in the 90s and 80s and whatnot. So in order to train for competitive Tetris, I still had my old CRT TV that I bought with my communion money when I was 13. And
okay.
And there was a kid at Tinley in March who was selling a Nintendo in a plastic bag at a table of it was crested geckos and a Nintendo. And I saw the Nintendo, and I was like, wait, is that a Nintendo? And the kid's yeah, do you want to buy it? And I looked at Tristan and I was like, you want to buy it? And he was like, yeah, because then I can start practicing my Tetris skills. And I said, okay, fine. It's and it was $75. And I'm like, I'll give you 60 cash. Because that's what I had in my wallet. I didn't have 75. I just had the 60. And he's like,
that's a steal, I would think, for an old system.
I mean, they go for about 65 to 80.
Oh, okay.
The ones at work. So I mean, we were at market. I didn't feel like I screwed the kid. So
okay.
I just got a little bit of a deal. And so, like, we got the Nintendo and we finally got it hooked up a couple weeks ago, and he's been obsessed. So he's been having a lot of fun with that.
That's freaking awesome. God, I haven't played Nintendo. Oh, God. I would have been maybe 10. When because I got our family Nintendo. My brother got the Super Nintendo when it first came out. I'm drawing a blank as to when that Super Nintendo even came out. But no, I was like Ninja Turtles, freaking Jaws. Oh, I went through like 2 or 3 controllers playing Jaws. Damn shark! Yeah. I tell you what, that SOB.
Well, it's funny because a couple weeks ago, like when we had first gotten it, I called there's a couple of like retro video game stores around here, and so I had called a couple places and they didn't have any Tetris cartridges. And then like a couple weeks ago, I called this one place, and I guess the place is owned by the same guy who owns the Nintendo Museum in like Frisco, Texas.
Oh wow!
But the retail store is here. And so I called them to see if they had Tetris, and they had Tetris. So we went over and we got Tetris. And then we're looking around to see if there's any other games we wanted to buy. And there really wasn't anything in cases. There was a couple things. I found Marble Madness, so that was fun. My brother and I used to play that one all the time. And then so I go to the counter to check out, and I see like a gray bin full of games, and I see a couple good titles peeking out the top. And I was like, hey, is that gray bin on for sale? And he's like, yeah, what are you looking for? And I'm like, the classics. Give me Super Mario Brothers 3. Give me Zelda. Give me Contra. Give me Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, Mega Man.
Oh, my God, Mega Man. Oh,
Mega Man is so fun.
Oh, my God, Mega Man. I love Mega Man. Oh.
Yeah. So I walked in there to spend like $15. And I walked out like $150 lighter on Nintendo games.
You know what? That I feel as though you still probably made out on the better end of that stick. And some tells me if you were trying to get those games off eBay, you would have spent a lot more than that on those games.
Yeah, because I was looking for I think I was looking for the actual Nintendo on eBay, and they were looking for like $160 or something. And I was just like, nah. And then, but when I came across that gem at March Tinley, I was like, oh yeah, score. And they're like, we're pretty sure it works. And I was like, pretty sure it's good enough. We'll make it happen. And I got it to work. So I even posted, like, I sent a text to my brother, and I was like, I got these old antiques to function.
These things that haven't been fired up in like decades.
One's a 30-year-old TV, and the other one's like a 35-year-old gaming system.
See, I often wish I had like my old TV, or even the TV I grew up with at my dad's house, where it's like the TV was built into like a chest type of deal thing.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was for the non-working
big SOBs.
Or working TVs on top of.
Yeah, and like I wish I had that, just so that way I could randomly pull it out and have my son look at me and go, "What the hell is that?" Because he knows nothing other than a flat screen, and it's just
right. Like
well, you see, son, this is what a TV was.
So my grandfather used to work for Zenith. And so, I think my mom's family was probably one of the first families on the block to have a color TV. And it was one of those, like in the 60s, with the wooden panel and like the gold, like weave in the audio panel. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And like, I remember when my grandparents died, like that TV got willed to us. Like it was part of the inheritance. And it was because it was the TV we only turn on when company comes over. And that was our regular TV for a long time. On the parts of a BFX. Yeah, that's part of the course.
Oh God, I even remember when the BMX bikes became a big thing too. Oh my God! Mm-hmm. All right, I'm really like, this is really making me feel old as shit now. It's like, God, it's been so long since any of this is. Yeah.
All right, we should probably start talking about snakes before everybody decides to tune out of the old fogey show.
So let me
Shout
run
out
a channel
Chris.
sponsor real quick. Let me run a channel sponsor real
Yeah.
quick.
Do channel
No.
sponsors. Hey, Owen, grab me a beer.
All right, here we go.
Make sure you check out Nathan at Infinite Possible Pythons. He is your guy to go to if you want to get into the Bang project. On top of it, he's working a bunch of awesome ball python projects. Kahua geckos, Leachianus geckos, crested geckos, some scaleless corn snakes, and he is your one-stop shop for all your branding needs. So check him out. Make sure you check out Chris at S Reptilia. If you're looking for a ball python, boa, colubrid, blood python, he is the guy to go to. He's also a rat breeder on the eastern side of PA, and he is Pennsylvania's distributor of Cocoa to Go and the Chipper, which is by far the best cocoa substrate on the market today. So make sure you go ahead and check him out.
And Chris, I saw your comment, bro, up there about apparently Nathan owes you a backdrop too. I gotta rub it in your face a little bit, bro. My backdrop is already, designs are done. It's being made, brother. It's being made. Maybe I'll get mine before you.
Shout out to Chris though, because I recently, I think like the big news in my breeding life is, oh, thanks, babe. Here, lean in and just wave, because I'm on.
What up?
That's Phaedrus Khan. He's got the weird beard. Thanks, babe. Love you. So, oh, you did that really. I have my first clutch in the incubator now. So, like, up until May 18th, I was like aspiring ball python breeder, and now I'm actually ball python breeder because I got eggs in the cooker. And
now, how long until they hatch? Because like I watched the egg pulling, but I know for me, just because you saw the egg pulling or the clutch cutting doesn't mean that it's up to date. It might be, like, if you're seeing the clutch cutting, chances are the babies might already be moving on.
No, for this one, like, I think I posted the video of us putting them in the incubator, like maybe the same day, maybe the day after. So at a 56-day estimate to hatch, they're supposed to hatch on my birthday, which is July 11th. But I am experimenting with lower incubator temperatures to facilitate healthy growth and the fact that we're supposed to go to Branson like that week, like, because she late. I don't like. You're like, okay, yeah, due dates. I've been pregnant twice. I know due dates are a total crapshoot. Generally.
See, you all right here. They are, but once you learn your incubator, you can kind of it's actually kind of scary how predictable it becomes. Like,
right,
with
the incubator might be predictable, but the female is a little less predictable.
Yes, those women, the women snakes are tricky as hell. Right. My one girl that just laid went 2 weeks overdue. Nathan had one go like a month overdue. I don't know how he kept his shit together being a month overdue. But
and based on my math, in her prelay shed, I had until May 25th. But May 16th was when she was like, "No, I'm gonna give you these now." I was like, "All right." So it just turned out that 56 days is my birthday, but also 3 days before we're supposed to go out of town. And so I'm doing 87 degrees on the incubator. Okay. So it's fluctuating between 89.9, or I'm sorry, 86.9 and 87.1. Like, I really only have like a 0.2 degree typical fluctuation in that temperature, which I'm hoping is going to get me closer to day like 60, 62. Like, they might be tipping by the time we get back from Branson. And even if they crawl out while we're in Branson, as long as there's no like serious emergency situations that I would need to deal with, then it's probably fine. I'm just going to assume it's going to be fine. I'll just make sure I take the cellophane off before I leave.
Yes, I was gonna say just make sure the press and seal is off, and then you're golden after that point, I would think.
Yeah, no, I want to make sure. I'll probably take the press and seal off like on the 9th or something, like a good week before they're due to pip. And then I'm experimenting with a new incubation medium. I'm using Orbeez.
Dude, girl, I started using the Orbeez this year too. Freaking love it. Like one layer of Orbeez and about water height about the same, almost about the same height as the Orbeez themselves. Set my egg tray in there because I've got they're Lugardi egg trays.
So
but
can you like hydrate the Orbeez while they're? Are you putting dry Orbeez in there and then putting the water in and then putting the egg tray in there? Or are you
I'm putting the Orbeez in, water in, Orbeez, let them expand for a day or two.
Okay, yeah, water.
I let everything kind of get up to size way before I'm even needing it. And then I adjust the water level from there, put the egg tray in, and then it's set to rock and roll.
Yeah, no, it was funny. It was a Wednesday, and I had peeked in on her like in the morning or mid-afternoon, and she was laying funny. You know, she got kind of inverted, and she's like laying weird. But so then I was off doing my day, blah, 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 and then I went to go to bed that night, and it was like, I'm laying now. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. And I pull the door open, and I was like, oh, crap. We have eggs. Shit. Like, what's the thing? And then I had to spend like a decent chunk of Thursday, like getting the egg crate light cover stuff, like that plastic thing. I had to go to Lowe's, and I had to go to get the 6-quart. Like I had to go get tubs. I had already ordered the Orbeez, but then I was having second thoughts about it, and I was like at Lowe's, and I'm like, "Do you have vermiculite?" And they're like, "No, we're out." I'm like, "Well, that decision made, I guess." And so I had started hydrating the Orbeez before I left to go to Lowe's, and so I took like a stock pot like from the kitchen and like a little ramekin of, you know, like a 4-ounce ramekin, and I filled it about halfway, so I had like 2 ounces of Orbeez, and I put them in, and I filled this thing like halfway up with water, and then by the time I got back, the thing is like full. So I just had I definitely over made Orbeez, but then like
you overproduced the Orbeez.
I overproduced the Orbeez, but it's fine. I ended up using them for other stuff. I put some in. I have a granite Mex king snake. I call him my poor man's monsoon because he's very cool looking. I'll send you a picture. But in his humid hide, like I had sphagnum moss, but I had to keep like misting it frequently to get it. I just threw Orbeez in his humid hide because he's in there on aspen. And so I've still got the sphagnum moss in there, but I just threw like a handful of Orbeez in there, and I'll leave those in there for like a month or so, and then I'll change them out in case they start getting grody.
Oh, okay. Chris, your girl laid basically on time. It was Nathan's girl that went 2 weeks over. Like she did not want to
might be. I don't know who snake Chris is talking about, because my mama that gave me my first clutch, I bought from Chris on one of your auctions.
Well, maybe that's what he's talking about then.
It could be, because when I messaged him recently, he told me her last clutch was June 15th, was what he told me. And then this year was May 18th. So it could be the same girl, but shout out to Chris. I'm so thankful. It's like this girl, so she's a pied girl, and he produced her. And she was like 8 years old when I bought her. I think she's 9 years old now. And it's like I had this wise old lady snake teaching me how to make snake babies.
This wise old lady snake.
This wise old, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, this is my very first clutch ever. And I feel like I have like a wise old lady snake that's like, no, just keep looking. And then every once in a while I would send Chris a DM on Instagram just to be like, you know, every 3 to 4 weeks, I'd be like, So here's what I'm seeing. Is this normal? What should I like learn from this? And he was an excellent, like I try not to be like super like every other day. What's happening? Because then you're just kind of crazy. But like once a month, I'd be like, so here's what we got. I'm like, I think she's looking thick and fluffy and very fluffy. And I actually think that was the ovulation that I was seeing, but I didn't know how to see it. And so then she shed, and then I started counting, and then
she went off count anyway.
Right. But it was really great because almost all of the other snakes that I've bought have all been grow ups. Like in 2023, I got some 2022s that'll probably be going this fall. And then I got, in 2023, I got 2023s. And in 2024, I've even gotten a couple of 2024s. But, I know some people like jump in and they want to like breed right away and they buy, breeder females or breeder males or what have you. But I didn't want to do that because I wasn't so much focused on breeding and making babies and making money and going to shows and doing whatnot. I wanted to work with things that had maybe some newer genes or some newer combos so I can make fun, interesting stuff that hadn't been made yet.
You want to do it. Plus, I feel like when you do things like that, you enjoy it at a different level than some other people.
I think, and that might be true. That may very well be true. And enjoy it more how? Like
you just enjoy like watching them, like because I like everything I bought basically I bought it as babies. I probably could have went out and found a proven breeder girl, but I wanted to buy it. I wanted to raise it. I wanted to watch it go from color A as baby to adult color C. And then that way I know in my head, okay, well, this turned into that. What can I do to prevent it from turning that? And it got, it helped me learn, but I enjoyed that process more than just buying something and make babies. Like there's just a different level of fulfillment and enjoyment out of it. For me, anyway.
I think I agree with you. And I think it also helps you know your snakes as like individuals, right?
Yes.
Like I know my animals as individuals because I know which ones are spicy. I know which ones are friendly. I know which ones want to come and hang out. I know who's going to eat this week and who's going to skip this week, even though they skipped last week. Sometimes it's 3 weeks. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. Sometimes it's every freaking week. And give me the rat mom. So, you learn those things from having that relationship with those animals.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I appreciate is because I appreciate my relationship with my animals. 60 is a lot of relationships, but I try to get them out. I try to get them this girl, she's just been kind of like sleeping on my arm this whole time. She's being cool and she's chill. She's a sweet girl. And I like a lot of my snakes are sweet. Like non-reactive to human interaction and presence and whatnot. But I think my heart snake is Travis. I post him all the time. Like he'll be watching shows with me. We're watching Fallout together. He's hanging out in the Halloween candy. Like, is
that the one that you sent me a picture of that you were watching the live last week with?
Could be. Yeah. Ultramel.
I think it was the Exantic or head exam.
I have to look at our messages on Instagram. Okay, now you're getting blighty. But I will take Travis out because he's my heart snake, and I love him, and he's my favorite. And
Brian and Holly say, "Have you tried just water with the egg tray?" I have not. I know Nathan gives me a whole bunch of shit about not. What's that?
Billy's trying the water only method right now, and I actually messaged Billy about the Orbeez. Because he was having a thing where at his scale, he was like, this vermiculite is a pain in the ass to clean up. or dispose
Well, yeah,
of, or
exactly.
pour in, and there's dust, and there's all this nonsense, and he just didn't want to mess with it anymore.
And it's expensive too. I mean, Orbeez are dirt cheap. Like Nathan gives me so much crap about he gives me so much crap about using Orbeez with the egg trays because technically you don't need it. You can do just the water. But I like having something there in my head that just tells me that the Orbeez serve a purpose, and it's to help prevent splashing of water onto the eggs. Like it's basically a placebo for me. Like it just makes me feel better.
I like it too, because then if like a baby snake were to hatch and then get under the tray, and then I don't want it to drown, like it's not going to drown in Orbeez.
Yes.
This is Travis. He's my heart snake.
And let me put you up on the big. There we go.
There we go. He's a sweet boy. He'll like just hang out and be cool. I remember like it was Halloween or something in October. Like I was letting Reese, my 9-year-old, hang out with him, and I went into his room, and he was on his tablet, and he was watching some such on his tablet on YouTube, and I was like, "Where's Travis?" And he he had a pillow. He made like a barrier because he's got this loft bed with the ladder, and then he's got like the opening for him to come in and out of the bed down the ladder. And he had blocked off the ladder using a pillow so that Travis wouldn't escape. And I was like, "What you doing?" And he's like, hanging out with Travis, watching YouTube. And Travis is sitting there like periscoped up, watching YouTube with Reese. Yeah, he's like so chill. He's one of my favorite snakes. And I actually was thinking about pairing him to Eliza, my super inchy pastel that stole Oren's heart and made us buy 2 snakes that day that we went to buy one and only one snake, to see if you could breed for temperament, to see if I can make pet snakes that are just sweet and cool and want to hang out with you and are gregarious and calm and confident and calm, confident, and just, I don't know, curious. Kind of like my 3 C's of good, my 3 C's of good temperament is calm, confident, curious.
See, I can get with that. Now, I'm curious as well if that's something that you can breed for. I know, like with the carpets, that would be a harder thing to go with. Now, because Xena's a dick, like flat out, he's a big time douchebag in the enclosure. You get him out, he's fine. He's a douche in the enclosure, though. But the babies, for the most part, at least my 2 holdbacks from last year and then this year, the babies are super chill from them. So I don't know.
Maybe it's the babies.
Might be the farther down the generation line you go, the more domesticated. I don't know.
Or the more like, the more used to handling they become, or the more just and he arrived that way. Like I was saying temperament comes from epigenetics. So epigenetics is like you almost change them at a genetic level when you handle them a lot, when you give them new experiences, when you give them stimuli or like problems to solve, things like that. That if you take a spicy snake and you turn it into a calm, cool, chill snake, then it's more likely to have calm, cool, chill babies.
Okay.
So it's like that domestication thing. It was like there was that experiment they did in Russia with the foxes.
Let's see, I didn't hear anything about this. All right, do tell.
No, it was a bunch of years ago. And so they had these gray foxes, and they were doing essentially an experiment to see if, like, what are the physical effects of domestication on an animal. And so they had all these gray foxes, and they had all these gray foxes, and they bred them. And the pups that were displayed the traits that we would associate with domestication, like trainability and friendliness and basically people oriented. Like they were more oriented towards people than they were to other things. And so after a number of successive generations, I think it was like 5 or 6 generations, the foxes started to change physically. Like they got floppy ears and they got like curled tails and they got, you know, different physical traits like, you know, they bigger eyes. Like the traits we associate with puppiness also happened in these foxes. And so it was just this, it was a really interesting study in how many generations does it take to domesticate a species, and then but then you kind of have to like line breed, right? Like you take the friendliest ones from this parent, the friendliest ones from that parent, you breed those together, and then you take those babies and the friendliest ones from those babies, you breed those together. And so how many generations does it take for physical changes to start happening that are associated with domestication? So that was like really interesting.
So that it does sound really cool. Damn. What up, Mitzi?
Hey,
thanks for tuning in. Let's run another. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Acacia is also doing some breeding along that line, like breeding for temperament and domestication. And so I think like maybe that's another thing that like genetic testing will give us, is people don't have to chase morphs and morph combos so much and can start breeding for other things, like line breeding for really strong expression of particular morphs, or line breeding for temperament, for animals that you really want to have be pets. And so that, like, I find that to be really, really interesting in terms of what do we gain from having access to genetic testing.
I know with the line breeding thing that from my experience anyway, I experienced that a lot more with the carpets, just because there's not so many morphs with the carpets, but with those you are able to, I don't want to say more easily, but it seems that it's a little bit easier to focus more with the carpets to go after certain traits and pass those on and get the best of the best and keep progressing that forward. Yeah.
That kind of goes back to what we were talking about initially with like people chasing like the quads and the quints and the sextuples or the what have you. And people can do that if they want to. But I think genetic testing opens up more avenues for ball python breeders because we already have so many morphs to work with. If we focus on finding like the best expression of a particular morph, and maybe combining that with some temperament stuff, because I honestly, I do play both sides of the fence, because I think some people will make ivories and bells as byproducts. Like you were shooting for a particular combo, and so now you've got like bells or ivories as a byproduct, and they're like triple het for all this and that. I actively avoid making bells and ivories that are byproduct of other breeding projects. I actually have my like designated projects for bells and pies and
same
some
here.
freeway stuff. Like I want to be able to go to shows. I want to be able to bring things to shows that are within the, a reasonable budget for a pet buyer, because I love the animals. I like people. I like going to places where people are and talking to them about snakes and nerdy snake stuff. And so, I want to be able to have animals that are specific, like, banana pies. Honestly, I don't think single gene freeways belong in any other price point than bells at this point. Like, we have enough like asphalt was rare enough at a certain point where it commanded a certain premium. I think by the time I'm making single gene asphalts, that's not going to be the case anymore. I also am really like fascinated with allelic relationships of genes. So
Yes.
that's why I really like kryptons, and that's why I like the Bell complex and the freeway complex and being able to play and do different things there. Hey Steven. Oh,
What up, Steven?
I'm wearing the My Leviathan's Patreon shirt.
No, let's go ahead and run a channel sponsor here real quick, Jen.
Do that.
Can't find that missing piece of your breeding project? Hit up Triforce Morphs. They've been in the industry for 10 years and counting. They're working heavily with clown pieds, hypoclowns, hypopieds, along with lace, citron, and the Matter project. Can't let out the fact that they have crested geckos as well. Trust, respect, and integrity. That's the Triforce way. Are you ready to take it to the next level? Then check out DTMG Pythons. Danny is best known for his awesome clown ball python projects. This year his focus is Confusion, Hurricane, and Disco Inferno clowns. He also specializes in high-end crested gecko morphs such as Exantic, Lily White, and Exantic Lily Whites, along with the Deadpool line of gargoyle geckos. Check out his morph market and Instagram, DTMG Pythons. Just buy it. Lucas Landon Royals produces some truly high-caliber snakes. Kai has been breeding ball pythons for 6 seasons and counting. He's working toward multi-recessive combos such as DG Clown, Hypo Clown Pied, Sunset Candy Pied, and DG Exantic Pied. He's working with several other species of snakes, but next year he's going to start breeding Boa Imperators, and he also has a small group of super dwarf retics. So be on the lookout for some super dwarf cow retics. Become a royal at Lucas Landon Royals. If you want to use the best reptile record keeping and tracking software on the market today, scan the QR code or click our partnership link in the description down below for a free 30-day trial of Husbandry Pro. I promise you, you will not regret it.
All right, everybody. Make sure if you're not using Husbandry Pro, click that affiliate link, sign up, use code WARFEL60. It's in the description down below as well, so you can't say you don't know that the code's there. Use that code. It gets you 60 days free instead of 30 days free. Need to update the promo. All those promos will change coming first week of July because I'm off that week. So I'm going to hammer down, and we're going to get some fresh content as far as the ads. Going to shorten things up a little bit, hopefully, make things go a little bit speedier. But definitely go ahead, check out Husbandry Pro, click the link, use code WARFEL60. So Jen, tell us.
I'm gonna springboard off the sponsor promo. Lucas Landon Royals. I bought my pastel clown from him, and she's the prettiest pastel clown. I know a lot of people crap on pastel clown, but he makes great pastel clowns. And then for Husbandry Pro, when I went to add my 50th snake, or maybe it was my 51st snake, because the subscription levels in Husbandry Pro are tiered. And so I had my 7th snake, and I was adding snakes. And then I went to add my 51st snake, and it's like, you need to upgrade your subscription to add that many animals. And I was like, easy money ever spent. You hit the button, just upgrade. And if anybody has like more time than money, I honestly think they could develop a cottage industry of just doing data entry to put people's collections into Husbandry Pro. If they know snakes, if they know morphs, if they know software of any kind, just start your own business of putting everybody's collection into Husbandry Pro. And I'm sure people would pay you like $20.
Probably, like that is the worst part of it, is just putting the animals in. But if you start early enough, so anybody that's in here and you've got a smaller collection, but you know you're gonna grow, now's the time to do it.
The best decision I ever made was getting Husbandry Pro when I had 7 snakes.
Yes, seriously. I agree with you. I mean, I got it when I don't even remember how many I had when I got it. I had too many, put it that way. But now I'm glad because
the input was a pain in your tuchus.
Yes. Oh, it was a royal pain. But now when the babies hatch, it's just like, oh, this is a freaking breeze at this point. So you just breeze through it now at this point. So
Yeah.
Definitely check it out, everybody, if you aren't using it.
That'll
So
be exciting when they have babies to add. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, who were some of the people that have influenced you the most so far?
I think I'm gonna put him in the category of social media folks who are bringing a lot of positive energy and sharing and openness and camaraderie to the hobby. So like you, Adam from Proper Royals, Leviathan Snakes, who recently started their Patreon. I think the first Patreon I ever joined was Bob Bledsoe from
Okay, yeah. Green Room.
Yeah, no, I love Bob. I'm a moderator on their Discord, and Bob is great because he does some multi-species stuff, but he does a lot more on the side of like behavior and husbandry and things that help people keep and be successful keepers. I think that's really important. And then like Keys and Whisk Constrictors. I just hopped on their live last night. I'll jump in occasionally on Sophisticated Ignorance on Saturdays. But
love that podcast. That's a good one.
Yeah. And I'm fairly new to the culture, I would say, of reptile keepers and the YouTube and the social media. But it seems like there was an era of everybody just keeping to themselves, just doing their own thing and not telling their secrets. And I don't need you to know what I'm doing because I don't want you to know what I'm doing because I want to be the first person to do it. And it's going to be awesome and everyone's going to want it. And then there's the mindset of the rising tide lifts all boats. Like Antoine says, bring 5 new people into the hobby every year. Sell someone their first snake.
Yep.
Every year. And develop these Patreon communities and YouTube communities of people who are actively sharing their expertise with one another. And I really don't think I could have been as successful as I am to this point without those communities and without those people. And so definite shout out to everybody who brings a rising tide lifts all boats mindset to the hobby, as opposed to the if you get yours, I got less of mine.
See, I never got that mentality. I never understood that because I think that all that does is that just really like it, especially nowadays. The word circulates way too quick, and you'll sink yourself real fast with that mentality.
Yep. But I think there is still that, even whether it's in reptile keeping, whether it's in dating, whether it's in finding a new job, whether it's whatever arena you're in, this mindset of artificial scarcity tends to permeate a lot of the things we do.
Yep.
Where if you got yours, I got less of mine. It's small-minded. It's short-sighted.
Yep.
The more I do to help someone new, if somebody I've never even talked to before sends me a message and is asking me questions about my snakes or wants to know things about husbandry or anything like that, I'm happy to have that conversation with them, because giving somebody the knowledge they need to succeed and be successful, it's that rising tide lifts all boats. It's like, It's not a finite pie. And to Antoine's point, like, bring 5 new people in. So, bring in 5 new breeders, or just sell 5 new people the first snake they ever owned. And the more we do that as a community, we make the pie bigger.
Yep.
So that there's not a finite pie and people have to fight over slices. We just all make more pies. And then we throw them at each other, and it's a good laugh, and everyone has a great time. And you have cherry cordial on your face. Like that's how I feel about it. Like there's this artificial scarcity that I think holds people back. And I think we just need to be more. No, everyone just make more pie.
I agree with you because I'm trying to think of who it was. I can't even name drop because I can't remember who said it to me. Mm-hmm. But I had someone say that they were worried that I would be afraid about them wanting to start breeding carpet pythons because they had bought some from me, but they were going to start breeding them. It's like, I don't care. It's like, go ahead, breed them. It's like, you're getting projects started. I was like, you'll get your stuff started. I'll get different bloodlines in on my end. You'll want to upgrade your bloodlines with something from like, it all just works. It's like we were at different areas anyway. So it's like, just go do it. Enjoy it. Have fun. I don't care. Like, if I can't, like, no, that's not, I don't want to get too super crazy, say if I can't sell my snakes, but I mean, let's face it, especially with the carpets, if they stay here, that just means I don't have to pick who stays and who goes. Right. I get to enjoy them. So it's like, I'm not worried about it. Right. Like, I do it for fun.
Right. And we do it because we love it and it's interesting and fun. And we want to do different experiments to see, well, what would happen if I put this with that? Like, that's the great thing is you get to be curious. You get to do genetic experiments. We can all hang out and be scientists. I think the people that maybe aren't as successful at it are the people who are always just recreating what somebody else has done without putting their own spin on it. It's like, okay, somebody made something really, really cool. I love that. That's awesome. What happens if I put this in it? What happens if I put that in it? Like you always have to, if you want to be successful, you always have to be iterating on something that someone else has done. You have to be working your own experiment. You have to be working your own, you have to come at it from a curious mind.
Yes, I agree with you. Like, and that's like, sometimes I think people get so caught on chasing other people's coattails. Mm-hmm. And that's fine and dandy if that's it. Say, if you wanted to make a Batman that damn bad and that was the end of your vision, was that, whatever, go at it. But when I look at something like, say, the Batman, my first thought was, I want to make that Xanthic. I don't want the regular Batman. I want to go this direction, like run a completely, run with that direction, but supersede that aspect of it. Like, I don't want to chase what everybody wants to do or what everybody's doing. I want to go my own direction. I want to keep shooting for that next step. Okay, I hit this. How do I improve that?
Yeah, and I think that, there'll be times where I see, people posting about pairings that they did or about, animals that they have for sale, and it's some iteration on the Pompeii.
Yeah.
But it's not even an iteration of the Pompeii. It's like a step toward a Pompeii, where it's like, ivory, black pastel, red stripe het clown. Like it's got like enough of the ingredients. But there's always a part of me that's like, why did you make that? Why didn't you add GHI? Why didn't you add blackhead? Why didn't you add add some, like, it's like, are you familiar with the improv theater, improv comedy?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a very common thing in improv where it's yes and. Where if you're doing improv with somebody and then they give you a lead for a performance, and then you go yes and you build off of what they gave you. And so that's why, like, I love the special Pompeii, the JS.
Yes. Oh, that thing was freaking stunning.
Gorgeous animal. And it's like, okay, well, I've got a Russo clown in my rack. What can I put to her? And like, you know, what does the Russo version look different, better, worse? You know, how does that look? Or I'm really inspired by aesthetic selection, and what he's doing with allelic yellow belly complex stuff and cryptic and clown, or it, like, what was it? It was like a yellow belly specter, I don't know, orange dream, krypton thing, where it looked like an MC Escher painting. You know, there were the ones where like the fish turn into geese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so it was like the pattern is like yellow and orange, yellow and orange, yellow and orange. And then right around the mid body, it switches to orange on yellow, orange on yellow, orange on yellow, or something to that effect. But it remind like the things that remind you of like art that you've seen, and being able to do that kind of thing. Like, if you're gonna, I think it's fine to springboard off of stuff that other people have done, but bring your own flavor to it.
Yep. I'm with you on that one. That's yeah, I've just, I don't know. I'm not much for chasing coattails. I like having my own direction. I don't want to be that person that just makes the same thing everybody else is making. That's just not me. I mean, I want my own look.
It sounds boring and expensive.
It does, yes.
It's boring and expensive. It's like you're not going to add anything new. It's boring. And if by the time you make the thing that is just a recreation of something somebody else made, they got $10,000 for it, you'll be lucky if you get two.
Yep.
Like, from a business and a I don't know, fulfillment perspective, I don't think it makes sense.
No, I agree with you. Now, what species are you exactly, like, what other species do you have that you're working with or that you're planning on breeding? I know you said you've got the boas. You mentioned something about a Mexican king snake.
Yeah.
Is there any other species that you're working with or that you would even want to add?
Yeah, no, those are the three I have right now. My boas, I have a 1-year-old boa I have a 1-year-old BCI, Roswell Laddertail, BC, Sharp, Boa and Caramel, Typo. So she's a RLT Paraglow, and she was the one who I fell in love with her eyes. And then I have my Hog Island Cross, who I might never breed. I don't know. I heard they're challenging to breed. She might just always be a pet. I might just be always the happy home she gets to live in forever. And I do enjoy her. I do enjoy her immensely. And then I have my Granite Mex King Snake. And so I could potentially see another couple of Mex King Snake girls joining the family at some point in the future. I think they're really cool. They're so granity, and it's like this black and white gradient pattern, and it's super busy. But then there's these little pops of red that come up. It's almost like being in hell and having like lava and embers just kind of like seeping up through the craggy rock face. Like, it's just so freaking cool looking. Love him. And then the other species that I'm interested in are the Asian rat snakes. So the bamboos and the cockeyes and those, because I know I like bioactives, and I think some of the more heavy-bodied snakes like ball pythons and carpets. I don't know what your opinion is on carpets and bioactives, but they might be.
I could see them really just screwing them up. I could see that.
Yeah, so some of the larger snakes that are just going to like lay waste to any of the plants that you attempt to grow in there are probably not the best idea, but I feel like the cockeye Asian rat snakes, where they're the very solid red, and then they got these two black racing stripes that just go down their whole body. They're very striking looking. They don't get incredibly large. And I feel like they would be a really good bioactive inhabitant.
Okay. I know, but I guess it was last week's live. The guest was saying something about, Matt was saying about the, I think it was an Asian rat snake as well. It was like a gray one, though, that had the black and yellow spots. I'm drawing a blank on what the hell it was, though.
Oh, the Vietnamese?
Maybe.
Like a Vietnamese. It's got like a very bright yellow and black kind of a checkerboard pattern.
Yeah, like the thing like I looked it up and I said, holy shit, that thing's stunning as hell.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I want to say it's like look it up, but it's like some sort of like Vietnamese snake. That's the thing.
Okay.
They're very cool, also very pretty, semi related, but like I got into bugs recently too.
Really?
Oh yeah, I got into bugs.
I did see you have I call them roly polies. It's just bad habit. It's just bad habit. Kara calls them that. Hadley calls them that. So I just call them roly polies.
The roly polies are so fun because it's like I remember being a kid and going out in the woods and turning over logs and finding stuff, and like I would find the roly poly bugs and they were like, oh no, human, and they turned into this perfect little sphere, and they were so fun. They were so fun. And so I got into I got into those. I got some dairy cows, I got some powder blues and some powder yellows, and unfortunately, like the first king snake that I had purchased did not thrive and unfortunately passed. Okay. And so I had him I also have 2 crested geckos that I have no intention of breeding. They just hang out in the living room and they're cool and they're like splat on the cage door and they're fun. and I love them. And we just take care of them and they're a fun species to own. But the when I got the 2 crested geckos, I had actually I'd cohabitated them temporarily in a 10-gallon aquarium because they're baby cresteds, baby crested geckos, and they're in this bioactive situation. And so then I kept them in there for a few weeks until I built them their, big girl enclosures. And then I moved them over to the PVC big girl enclosures. And then I basically had this bug farm hanging out in my son's bedroom for a couple months at least. And so then when I got a king snake, he was great. His name was Elvis. He was a banded, he was very stripy. Like he had this perfect racing stripe, down his whole body with not a scale out of place. And I had put him in there and I was feeding him and the food would disappear, but after 6 weeks he passed away. And so I don't know if he was not eating the food because can a dairy cow isopod make off with a pinky mouse?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But whether it was husbandry or disease or what have you, Elvis didn't thrive. Elvis passed away. And so I took that 10-gallon aquarium and I couldn't bring myself to nuke the isopods that were in there. I was like, I can't just I can't dump you outside. I can't put you in the oven. I can't do anything to make you perish on purpose. I can't do that. So I went to the 5 Below or somewhere and I bought these jars, big jars. And then I took all of the isopods that were in the 10-gallon aquarium and I made terrariums. I put some plants in there, I put some isopods in there, I put some dirt in there, I put some food in there, and now I have 4 terrariums that live on my kitchen counter until I found a better place to put them. And then I scrubbed out that whole aquarium and I filled it with aspen. And then I went and I got, I went and got my Mex king snake and I put him in there. And then he's got his like Chinese takeout container full of Orbis and sphagnum moss and aspen. And it's all clean and sterile for him. And he's doing great. I'll give him like 2 pinkies every week.
Okay. See, I think that's one thing. Like,
great.
That's one thing I never thought to see coming was people with the isopod stuff. Like, yeah. I never would have guessed people would have gotten so into that. Like, it's just something it makes me think, well, did I like see these things out in the wild and I just completely freaking overlooked them, or what?
Right. But some of the ones that I have, like, it's not anything I ever would have seen in the wild. Like, I've got these like magic potions from Japan and like these lavas and these Dalmatians and these zebras and like all of this cool stuff. And actually, that's a very funny story too, because I had started my little terrarium situation because of the other enclosure I had to break down. And then I was like, man, these bugs are pretty. And so then whenever there's like a charity auction, like I'm at my limit for snakes. So I'm like, oh, but I'll get bugs. Like I believe in your cause. I want to support you, but I cannot take any more snakes in my house. So if you have merch or bugs, I'm all about the bugs. And then so on it was a recent charity auction that Creative Reptiles was hosting for Mika, who had a situation recently with an injury on a bicycle. And I was like, okay, I'm just showing up to bid on bugs. So I show up to bid on bugs. And then I'm pretty sure that like Chris Eaton from Six and the Fat Man was bidding against me just to like mess with me. Right. And so it's like 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and Chris and I get into a bidding war over freaking isopods. And so we're bidding against each other, and I was trying to snipe him, and I was late. And so then Chris ended up in the hole for like $80 on isopods just because he was trying to mess with me. And so then he says in the chat, he's like, I'll send the money, just give them to Jen. I can't be one of those bug people. And that's the story how Chris Eaton bought me isopods, because he couldn't be bug people, but I really wanted to be bug people, but he just really wanted to mess with me. So apparently the going rate for fucking with me is $80.
Hey. You got your bugs. The donation got made. Everybody won.
Hey, everybody wins. Everybody wins. Chris doesn't have to take care of bugs he doesn't want to deal with. I got the bugs I wanted. The recipient of the charity got the help that they needed. Like, everybody wins.
Malaysia, what's up, brother? Malaysia's in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, dude. Your ears must have been burning. We were giving you praise here a little bit ago, bro. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in, man. Malaysia, Wiz Constrictors.
Oh, I didn't know he had a nickname, Malacio. Because I love this.
So what
I
got
to meet Wiz the first time at Sewerfest in southeast of Wisconsin. Because Owen and I went up to Sewerfest, and Wiz was vending there, and that was super fun. And that's where I actually got my incubator.
Oh, okay. Phil, what up, dude? Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to see you in the chat. Hopefully you were here earlier than what I saw you hop in. Hopefully you weren't late like you normally are, but thanks for tuning in, bro. And Phil did say, make mention of Wharf Stock. Everybody, just so you know, if you do want to come to Wharf Stock, it's July 6th. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Facebook Messenger. Message me. Let me know. That way I can put you on the list. That way I have a rough idea as to who's coming, how many. $10 a person. Kids are free, but $10 per adult. And after some things are covered, like getting our entertainment here, paying for like the Jiffy John and that type of stuff. All the remaining proceeds go to US Arc. So I thought it was a nice little way to see if we couldn't raise some money for US Arc on top of having just a good time being together. But we'll see if I have to adjust the fee, because I don't know how this will go as far as how much money will generate after paying for certain things. But we'll see. It's a learning curve, learning experience. And I mean, after last year's, we couldn't go without live entertainment. So I feel it's like I can't.
Adam.
I see a shout out to Adam, because Adam's doing the entertainment again, along with hopefully Phil. Hopefully Phil will join in with him.
That'll be fun.
So it's definitely, it is a good time. I never saw this whole thing expanding to what it's become, but hey, everybody enjoys it. And, if the people want to come and hang out and join in the fun,
Build it.
The hell with it. We're going to deal with that.
Build it and they will come, man. I really wish I could be there. I'm going to be in Wisconsin at the family cabin with the kids. But hopefully next year, the weekends that I have my kids and the weekends that their dad has my kids is our kids. Hopefully it lines up so that I can go next year.
Okay. Well, you can bring them along too. That's fine too. I know next year, I believe Graceful Pythons is coming. So there's going to be some people coming from some long distances next year as well, which I think it boggles my mind. It makes me question how crazy snake people are coming this damn far for a freaking barbecue.
Here's the thing about snake people. We've got a Northwest Illinois snake people thing happening on the 22nd out in Rolling Meadows, and I'm not organizing it. Other people are organizing it, but people are kind of crawling out of the woodwork because they feel like so much of our interactions with one another happen in virtual space, right? Like we're all online, we're on lives, we're in chats, we're doing that kind of stuff. And then when we're at shows where we all get to hang out, like Tinley and Daytona and stuff, so many people are really just vending. And then when you're on your feet all day vending and talking to people, you're kind of wiped. And honestly, more social interaction might be a little bit more than you have the spoons for.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one.
So I think that when you or me or Juan or whoever is going to host a hey, snake nerds, like snake nerds rally in an environment where it's not a show, where it's not a place where you have to be on for the general public all day. I feel like we need more of those because I really enjoy hanging out with snake people and talking about snake stuff when everybody kind of has the energy to do so in a social, in real life situation as opposed to a virtual space.
I agree with you. I know, like you were saying, after shows, after a one-day show, I'm wiped. And I know some of the shows we do that are two, that's why I enjoyed the Gettysburg, because we set up Friday, we go out to eat Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we do all the bullshit. And then Saturday it's showtime. And after Saturday, it's a one-day show, so that's it. Now, when I did Repticon, that was a 2-day show, but we would go out to eat Saturday. Well, Saturday, like you were saying, you're wiped from talking with everybody. One, I'm just thankful I'm off my damn feet. I'm oh, thank God. Kick the feet up. Just, even though we're out to eat, I just want to sit here, not speak, just want my food. I want to prop my feet up. I just want some peace.
I just want to not. I just want to exist. I feel like it comes from a place of a deep desire to exist in a place where nobody is demanding anything from you.
Yep.
I had this conversation with Owen last night because I was telling you when we were backstage, yesterday we went downstate, And for Father's Day, we bought a canoe for his dad, and they put it on the car. And then the place that we thought we were going to go paddle at wasn't viable. So we had to drive 45 minutes to a different place and then go play in the canoe with the kids and the dogs and everybody. And it was a whole thing. And then we get home, because I drove home, and it was like 2.5 hours from where we were. And we get home, and then the dogs are situated. Everything's put away that needs to be put away. And we're laying in bed, and I'm like scrolling on my phone, and he's trying to talk to me about something. And I just like looked at him, and I was just like, I love you, but I need you to leave me alone.
I love you, but shush. Just shush, shush, shush.
Exactly. I'm just like, I want to scroll. I just want to look at 15,000 pictures of random boas for like a half an hour until the sleepy kicks in, and then I am like out for the count. And it has nothing to do with how much I love my partner or anything else. It's more like I'm done.
Yep. I'm done. I'm white.
I'm done. You found this cool video on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and you want to show it to me. You want to like engage with me on that, and I need you to just text it to me, and we'll talk about
it. That reminds me something. My 4-year-old had. She came up to me, and she was just rambling off something, and I couldn't even understand what the hell she was saying. And I just looked at her and said, honey, I was like, you're up here. I need you to bring it down here for old dad, because right now I can't follow you. I don't have the energy. I'm like, daddy's spent. Come from up here and bring it down here for dad. And she just looks at me, and no, it didn't kick in. She just kept on going. She's just like, okay, whatever.
No, 4-year-olds are really not good. 4-year-olds are terrible at that, but my adult human partner, when I tell him, like, just DM it to me, put it in the file, we're engaged over breakfast. I really need you to like park it there, because I want to engage. I want to pay attention to my partner. I want to do the things that, good partners do, but in certain times and places where I am just absolutely, I have nothing to give anymore. I try to frame it in a respectful way where it's like, you're excited about this thing. This is important to you. I want to be excited about it with you, and I want to give it the importance that you clearly think it deserves. And I can't right now.
Now is not the time.
I cannot. I can't. I literally have nothing to give you right now. But I absolutely promise you that I will give it the attention and importance and enthusiasm it deserves tomorrow.
Yes. Well, we're at the 2-hour mark. There's one more thing I want to cover, Jen. Give us a rundown of your YouTube channel. What got you inspired to start a YouTube channel, and what all do you? How do I want to put it? What all kind of content do you plan to put on your channel? Because I did want to watch your video on the dice thing with the genetic odds and stuff. I thought that was an interesting concept video. I do want to watch that. That's on my to watch list.
I'm on the to watch list. Save for later.
That video's on the to watch list. I got to get to it.
All right. So when I first started getting deep into the ball pythons and ball python genetics, and I was trying to talk about it with my partner, he had that I have no idea what you're fucking talking about thing. And so the concept of it was actually mostly his, because he wanted to be able to understand ball python genetics and what was happening. And I have an education background. My current occupation is software configuration for HR software and payroll and stuff. But he wanted to understand. And so we came up with this concept of each dice of a different color is a different gene. And so if you're homozygous for whatever that is, it could be recessive, it could be an incomplete dominant, like it could be a bell, it could be a yellow belly complex, whatever it is, it's got its own color. And so if you have stickers or stars on, D&D explanation, if you have stickers or stars on all 6 sides of this dice, then you're like homozygous for that thing. And if you have stickers or stars on 3 of the 6 sides, you're heterozygous for that gene. But it's also helpful that I have these little stickers that are different colors. So they're sparkly. And so I could put, like, if I have a mystic potion, I can say, okay, this color, like the blue sparkles are for Mojave. And I put those on 3 sides. But the yellow sparkles are for Mystic. And I put those on the other 3 sides. So now you have one dice that is genetically representing that allelic relationship between genes.
Yes.
And so if each snake gets coded for, like, this is your clown gene and it goes in the shaker, and this is your bell gene and it goes in the shaker, and then you might also be black pastel and that goes in the shaker, and then you take all of the other parents' genes and you code those and you put those in the shaker. I think the thing that the genetic calculator on Morph Market or World of Ball Pythons or wherever you are misses is that your odds for any given outcome are for each egg.
Yes.
And I don't think any other calculator to this point, like, really is able to communicate that concept. So what we did was we coded all of our genes, and then we would take all the dice, we put them in a shaker, we'd shake the shaker, and we would create simulated clutches. Like, if I put this snake with this snake, and here's your dice, and here's her dice, and we shake them up, what do we get? And you can sit there and you can have, like, the rosiest idea of your chances of getting X, Y, or Z. But I will tell you that we rolled an entire clutch where the dad was banana and got no bananas.
It can happen. It can freaking happen.
It never came up. And the odds of that actually happening are really small.
Yeah.
Like, the odds of having a dad be banana and then having no bananas, that's small. But I plan to do more of those types of videos once we get the snake space, because I want to be able to, like, pull out snake A and snake B. Like, here's mom, here's dad, here's their dice, here's their codes. Let's simulate a clutch and roll it. I've done it on Instagram, and it's a lot of fun. But that's really unboxings and, hey, we got our first clutch, and those videos with the kids. And I think it's fun also to include the kids, because they get to roll the dice and they get to learn about heterozygous and homozygous and recessive and incomplete dominant, and they get to learn the science of what we do.
I know, like, for me, like, I enjoy, like, the educational aspect. I enjoy the fact that the channel essentially helps sell the animals as well. You know, people see something that they like, it catches their interest, they inquire about it. But some of the most rewarding videos are, like, when we're doing a clutch cutting and I have Dom, my oldest son Dominic is 17. He does the majority of the filming for me. Like, so normally that's like a father-son thing we do, is the filming stuff. But with the clutch cuttings, we get Hadley, which is my 4-year-old, and she just, like, she gets so into it. She's so passionate about the snakes, and when we do like the clutch cuttings, before it used to be a race between Dom and I. I got the race thing from Billy, but I've stepped back from it. Like I let him and her do the race because she gets so, I don't want to say competitive, but she gets really into it. And then she starts saying things and she gets Dom wound up. And it's funny to watch the two of them feed off of each other. It's like, okay, this is what this is supposed to be right here. Like this is making it a family thing. And I think that's important to get the family involved in it as well.
Yeah. And like and it's funny. So my older son Tristan is ADHD and autistic.
Okay.
And so he's got like kind of very firm ideas about what he wants to happen, and doing things where the kids are in a competitive situation with each other has the potential to devolve into chaos.
Okay. I can understand that. I can understand that.
Because of how much, but my younger son Reese, he's really into Roblox, and whenever he comes at me and asks me for Roblox money, I'm like, all right, I need you to change all the snakes' water dishes, and then I can give you the 20 Roblox that you want. So, but they both really love the snakes, and I think especially Tristan too, because ball pythons are generally a very slow-moving, easygoing species. Like,
yes,
this guy right here. Like, he's been sitting here.
He's been chilling.
He's just Travis is my freaking heart snake. I love him to pieces, and I don't even care. Like, when he will outlive his usefulness as a breeder, he will always have home here because he is so sweet. And I can't ever imagine ever getting rid of him. But you know, I can put Reese to work on like cleaning cages and whatnot. And Tristan, he has some challenges where it comes to engaging in an activity and see it through to the end without constant monitoring. So all of our children are going to be their own individual people, and they come with their own skills and talents, and we just need to give them spaces where they can thrive, I think.
Yes. Now, my niece is slightly autistic, and I found like the snakes the few times that she has been here, like it's hard to get everybody together, let alone get everybody here. But when she is here, the snakes seem like they really like she's got a very neat, cool connection to them. Like they kind of calm her down.
Yep.
Like, is that the same thing with your son, where the snakes are kind of, I don't want to say therapeutic, but in a sense therapeutic for him?
I think so, because at least in my son's presentation, and I think in a lot of autistic kids' presentation, they are attuned to detail and also tend to be highly empathetic.
Okay.
So when you put them in a situation with an exotic animal and you remind them to pay attention to how this animal is reacting to you, because ball pythons specifically are pretty expressive in their reactions. It's like, nose goes back. Like, I did not enjoy that. Like, that was not what I wanted. Like, if you get them, like, I mean, if I put, Tristan with Travis, like, it's almost like Travis teaches Tristan how to slow down.
Okay.
Calm down. And then if I give him a different snake that is maybe a little less inclined to people, it's like a graduating kind of a hierarchy.
It makes him shift gears a little bit. I get you.
It makes him shift gears a little bit, and it also gives them an opportunity to feel successful at the thing they're good at.
Yes.
If the things they're good at are empathy and noticing very little subtle details and changes in a behavior or a situation. And then the teaching part comes into teaching them to react appropriately to those subtle things that they notice.
Yes.
They're really good at noticing them, and they genuinely want to have a positive interaction with that animal. So having snakes has actually been really great for my neurodivergent child.
So that, I think that's like one of the coolest things, because I've always thought that there's something wrong with all of us, because it's not normal to want to have all these damn snakes. But I tell you what, like, I can have some of the roughest days, and even with like dad passing, so like I've spent a lot more time down here, and it's just me. Like I mean, not this in the balls, but I go straight for the carpets, because the carpets are so much more going on. They're more interactive, and it just seems like the carpets do a lot more for me.
They give you that tunnel attention.
Yes.
They give you the tunnel attention where you have to attend to this creature, and that makes everything else melt away.
Yep, exactly. And they've helped get me through a lot of this BS. I don't mean to call it BS, but I mean a lot of like the tough times, the humps. They've helped me get through it pretty decent so far. I mean, I've had a few moments, but they've been more helpful than I think anybody could ever realize.
I'm glad you bring that up, because one of the reasons why I wanted to do the Father's Day episode is because my dad passed away in 2019, and my kids are with their dad on Father's Day. And so having something to look forward to on a day that might be kind of difficult was really, really helpful. And for the people in the audience, and for you, Jeremy, the Father's Day when you don't have a father, either because they've passed or because they weren't active in your life or because of you have a strange relationship, you're not alone.
I say it's definitely been the weird thing is, like, I've confined, like, my boss just lost his dad 2 weeks ago. So like throughout, like, our dads were kind of going through the same thing, essentially up and down. So like it was odd that I found myself confiding a lot in someone I never thought to confide in. But like you said, yeah, I mean, you were not alone. You find those people and go through, like, be there for one another. Like, I think that's just be there.
Just be there. Just be there, and maybe just tell people it's okay. It's okay if Father's Day is not a thing you either ever felt the need to celebrate, or B, it doesn't have a place in your life anymore. So I don't want to end the whole life on such a downer. But
yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
But no, like, I think it's important. But oh damn! So wait, here I'm gonna in order to not end the whole podcast on a whole downer, I'm going to introduce my one and only proven breeder. Happy Father's Day, boy! To everybody.
All right, let's bring him out. Let's bring him out.
So we're gonna bring out Hades, and Hades is a GHI Ultramel, and I put him to the Hide Girl that I bought from Chris on your auction, and I'm super excited for the my very first clutch is going to be GHI double het ultramel pies.
Which anything GHI you cannot go wrong with. And thank you, Pinsy. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So here's there we go. That's fine. Now here's Hades. And he's a very good boy.
I love the pattern.
I think he's got a very high expression GHI pattern, and I love GHI. And the other thing is, like, I was looking in like for sale now and has been previously for sale, and I haven't found really any GHI in the visual or het ultramel pied realm.
Okay.
So I'm really hoping the whole clutch, I'm hoping just for me, for my holdback, is going to be a GHI female, and everything else should be up for grabs come July. But I'm really, really happy with this boy. And I was torn on the theme music to put on, like, when I put the pairing video up on Instagram. It was This Magic Moment, or Here's to You, Mrs. Robinson. Because my pied girl is a girl that Chris bred and produced like 8 years ago. Like, and this guy is 18, 20-month old. But dude is like 900 grams, eats like a beast, bangs like a rock star. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever get rid of him either. He can be a little spicy, he can be a little shy, but
seems pretty calm.
He's good. He's good. He doesn't super enjoy it, but he's so pretty, and I'm really excited to see the expression of the GHI in the babies without the ultramel. Like, I want to see like what GHI, like what flavor of GHI is he bringing to the table, because it's a double het pairing. I'll be able to see, what's in her, what's in him. And also, as a new breeder, I'm hoping I don't run into any like ID challenges. Because if I can't ID GHI versus a normal, I just need to like go to bed. Just go home.
I was gonna say GHI. I think even just seeing the dorsal color, like, you can tell it just popped real cool, like instant.
I think my favorite, my absolute favorite combo, like, even recessives aside, I saw a GHI Mojave yellow belly spot nose, and holy crap, like, that dorsal glowed. Like, it was the prettiest thing ever.
So I've got a GHI Mojave leopard het clown male in the rack, and I swear there's still something in him. I got him from John and Christina Triforce, but like, his color is just out of this world. Like, he's the best looking GHI Mojave combo I have seen to date, just with how his color is. Like,
and like,
you can't describe it.
When you talk about just straight combos, GHI Mojave is my number one favorite.
Yep. I'm right there with you on that one. Like, it's like the simplest 2-gene drop your jaw combo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, grandma test all day.
Yep.
Passes the grandma test easily. And then you add yellow belly, and then you add spot nose, and then you like get your retinas burned out by how bright that dorsal is. It is so cool.
I would pull her out, but since she just laid a clutch 2 days ago, I won't. But my GHI Mojave Banana Girl, Katniss, she's like pinky lavender color, and her dorsal just glows like so. It's like a creamy gold color. She's just out of this freaking world. She's like not really. I don't think she has one full black scale on her at all. She's got a couple of scales that have a couple little black speckles, but not one is full black. But to this day, like I'm so glad I kept her because she is probably one of the coolest GHI Mojave bananas that I've ever seen to date. Just with her color, because I've seen that combo go like really orange, and the fact, like I was afraid that's how she was going to turn, but the fact that she's held that pinky lavender, it's like, damn, it's like, all right, we did good on this.
I think with the ones that tend to like mud out, there's something 8-ball complex going on there, like a cinnamon or black pastel or something like that. Like if you see muddiness in the side pattern, if it looks blanked out, like that tends to be more of the 8-ball complex stuff that does that in the GHI Mojave combo. Okay. And then Chris and I were talking about, one of my first head ultramil girls that I got. She's the banana cinnamon Mojave pastel, and she has no spots. And I have a cinnamn banana het clown that has like the coolest spots that they're so dark, and there's a whole bunch of them. And that's where I'm at with banana. Like if you're gonna have spots, all the spots, so many spots, all dark, all super like intense, or no spots.
Yeah.
Like
see, I was kind of hoping she would spot up. I was hoping she would spot up. I forget who told me that Mojave helps fight against the spotting. And it's like, well, shit. It's like I was hoping she'd throw a little bit of black in there.
Yeah. Like, this is my girl. I'm hoping she'll go in the fall. She's one of my bigger girls. She's about 1,000 grams. $9.99 last time I weighed her. But she has these. Here, let me turn on this light. Hold on. All right. So if I turn that down, she's got this like Celtic knotwork pattern, like all on her whole side.
Oh, that's really cool.
And she's very yellow. And when I first bought her, it looks like these like just shadows. And as she's aged, she's kept all the shadows.
She's beautiful.
She's so pretty. Her name's Amalthea. Because when I was a kid, I was a huge fan of The Last Unicorn. And I was just like, oh man, if they turned the unicorn into a snake instead of a human, it would look like this. If some kid ran up to you and they're like, I found a snake in the woods, it grants wishes. And they brought you to this snake, you'd just be like, oh, I wish all my student loans would go away.
Yep.
Because she is absolutely like she's so pretty. She's so pretty.
I love the elongated pattern to her.
Yeah, she's just got this. Does that sound more? Oop, no.
Chris is even loving her.
Yeah. Well, he was the one who was just like, and no even spots even. And she's had ultramel, and there's times where I look at her because she has no spots and she's got all this kind of like funky elongated pattern. I wonder if she's got the only other thing that I saw in Morph Market that looked exactly like her was also vanilla. But also, if she has no spots whatsoever, like, could she be just not het ultramel? She's just ultramel.
Yeah.
But anyway,
she's pretty though. That's for damn certain.
I love her. and I bought her, and then with Hades being GHI Ultramel, I get like GHI Mojave Ultramels, GHI Mojave Pastel Ultramels, or I could throw my my Ultramel Clown Posset Hypo Ladder, which actually might end up being what happens. But yeah.
Either way, you're gonna make some killer shit with her. No doubt about that one.
I'm excited, and I want to thank you because I feel like you're the first person who invited me to be on your show because you thought I had nice snakes. Like,
well, no, you do though.
Like no shade to Chris or Jessica, but like Chris was like, "Hey, come be on my Hot Chick show," and I was like, "All right, fine. I'll just show up and be pretty and talk about snakes." And then Jessica, I think she had like a last minute cancellation, and she was like, "Hey, who wants to be on the show?" And I was like, "I'm free." And so you were the first person to just like randomly DM me because you thought I had pretty snakes and you wanted me to be on your show. And I was just like, I have arrived.
See, I think like, I just like you got pretty stuff, and I'm there thinking it's like I want to know more about you, and I think I like helping promote other people that I think I've really neat shit that might not be getting out there that for people to see. Like I just wanted everybody to get to know you a little bit more too.
I really appreciate it. And I also feel like it makes me proud of the decisions that I've made and the animals that I've purchased and the plans that I have for breeding that somebody noticed and was like, "Hey, you want to come talk about it?" And I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy to talk about it with anybody who wants to talk about it with me because I'm kind of obsessed.
Well, I will definitely have you back on because I'm curious. I'm curious to see like next year as far as what you're going to be cooking up next year because I think you're going to be going some crazy directions.
I like to make. I like to be a mad scientist when it comes to genetics. I think it's fun.
That's what makes this all fun, though.
It's fun.
And thank you, Tara. Thank you, Jamie. Chris.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Chris, I tell you what, bro, you're lucky. I love you, brother. But hey, look, Ken's even in here in the chat. What's up, Ken?
Ken. I was showing the Bongo Krypton pinstripe girl you made earlier, but you weren't here.
See, Ken's ear must have been burning a little bit there.
He must have been because the girl that I was snuggling with for half an hour of the show, Ken made her.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Well, Jen, that's gonna be it. We're at 2.5 hours. I hear Hadley running around upstairs, which means she's waiting for Daddy because we have someone that refuses to go to bed unless they snuggle Daddy, which means I get to sleep on 6 inches of bed.
You gotta go snuggle the babies.
I gotta go snuggle the princess. Everybody, make sure you guys, if you're not using Husbandry Pro, click the affiliate link. Use code Warfel60. Get the 60 days. Thank you to all the channel members. There's a link to become a channel member in the description down below as well. Make sure you guys go ahead and check Jen out on YouTube. All of her information is in the description down below as well. Check out the Instagram. And as Ken's there going, damn, I'm sorry. Yeah, you do gotta catch that replay, Ken.
I love Ken. I love Ken. When I went and bought that Bongo pinstripe Krypton girl from her, he was like, he's in like South Bend and like we're in like the northwest side of Chicago. So we found like this random diner in like Valparaiso-ish, Indiana. And we like went and like to go pick up the snake and had breakfast with him and his son. And it was nice. It was nice. We got to nerd out about snake stuff, and then him and Owen got to nerd out about like martial arts stuff, and it was super fun. So yeah,
cool.
Ken's got good stuff, and he's a great human, and yeah, check him out too.
I agree. Ken was actually a guest on the show one time. Which speaking of which, one of these days I gotta get you back on, bro. But next week, folks, I don't have a guest yet. I'm contemplating about trying to get a certain person on. I'm not going to spill the beans who I'm trying to get on. Or I might do a solo and kind of do like an update and just a very relaxed, chilled live for a change. We'll have to see. I have to kind of see what my mood is. Channel members, I am going. What's that?
The updated Snake Room tour. Here's what we got. Here's what they're at. Yeah,
I was gonna say we could do like a little snaky update thing. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to toy around with a little bit, see kind of how I'm feeling. Reach out to this one person, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling almost a solo live for whatever crazy reason. I don't know why.
Do it.
So maybe we'll do a solo live.
If they can't get it together by Tuesday, just rock yourself out.
That's true. Maybe we'll do it that way. This week's video, folks, it is a clutch pulling. I do have the second carpet clutch cutting ready. That'll be not this week. That'll be next week's video. And then just so that way everybody's got it, that way it's out there, I am going to be refilming Carpet Python Care. It's going to be titled 2.0 because I have made some slight changes from the original filming of it. So we're going to be doing a 2.0 Carpet Python Care video for that way everybody that's getting carpets from me, you guys can go through, you can watch that video if you have questions. You can always reach out to me as well. But, sometimes people like watching the videos because they can pause, restart, like they can kind of rewatch stuff and all that good stuff. So I'm going to redo that video, kind of update it a little bit.
Carpets seem really cool.
They're freaking.
Another idea for a video would be like compare and contrast like carpets and boas or carpets and ball pythons to be like, here's what's similar, here's what's different. I would love to watch something like that because
that's a good idea.
Kind of on my short list, but I can't figure out where they fit into my life.
Carpets, all right. Here's how I always define it. Did you ever? I'm sure you've probably watched Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chris Pratt's character, Owen, Raptor Tamer. Carpets make you Chris Pratt.
Okay,
that's the way I feel when I'm working with carpets. I feel like I'm the Raptor Tamer. And for all that's worth. Carpets just seem like they're very on key. Like they know what's going on before you know what's going on most of the time.
Do you think it's because they're less far removed from wild than ball pythons?
It might be. I think it's also just because of them being like or semi-arboreal and arboreal that they're very just in tune to their senses, like little bits of movements or different changes. Like if I undo the, I don't know if like all the enclosures have like T-bolts that I use to goes through both things of acrylic glass. The second I start undoing one, wherever they're at, their head instantly locks right on to where my hand is, no matter what they were doing before. And then they start like they're watching to see what's going on. Like they're a completely different animal. It's so. It's more rewarding than anything I've ever worked with.
I think working with exotics in general is rewarding because working with domestics, like the difference between my dog and my snakes is huge because my dog actively wants to please me. My dog has been bred for 10,000 years to give a crap about how I feel about his behavior. Exotics don't care.
Yes.
Exotics do not care how I feel about how they're behaving. So I have to incentivize them to care.
This is true. But maybe God, I could do. Maybe I just am going to do a live. I could do a whole live just talk jibber jabber about freaking carpets, and maybe that's what we'll do. We'll combine it, compare carpets and balls, and pros, cons.
Carpets, balls, boas, whatever else you've kept. Like, here's the things that are similar about the species. Here's the things that's different. And as an exotics keeper, here's the thing that you really should know about this particular species and their husbandry and their behavior. And in order to be successful, I think that would be a really fun thing.
Maybe that'll be Sunday's live. I'm kind of digging that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm digging that. We might run with that one.
I'm a consultant.
But anyway, what's that?
I'm a consultant by trade. That one was free. I'm not even gonna bill you.
Oh, come on now. But Jen, hey, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I mean it. It was a blast. Real Rizzo, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. I'm trying to think, did I get a response back from you? I think I sent you an email. I think you might be the one person or maybe you did respond back to me. I can't remember. Check your emails. Check your emails,
Jeremy.
Because I was going to say, because I've been checking. I lose track of who's been messaging me and who hasn't, but check your emails because I did message you about baby carpets. I can't remember. If I got a response back from you off the top of my head, I'd have to go through my list of everything. So if you just check your emails, dude, just check your emails. But everybody, that's going to be it for this week's video. It's
been a blast. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. Everybody like and subscribe to your Morphs. And if he ever invites you to be on his live, just say yes, because it's fun. It's a good time.
I appreciate that. And Rizzo, awesome. All right, good. Like I said, everything kind of blurred together. I've been working some really late nights just responding to people. But thank you very much, everybody. Make sure you watch this week's video and also watch the carpet video from last week if you are interested in carpets, because they're disappearing quickly, and that's your way to let me know what baby you want. So check it out. That video is going to get you better images than me trying to take pictures of something that doesn't want to sit still. So go ahead, check it out. And Jen, stay on here 1 second while I end this. But thank you very much, everybody, for all the love and support. I'll catch you next time. Later.